Hello, everybody. Welcome to 50/50 Booking. At the moment, I seem to be on my own. Should be joined by Aaron in a bit. We'll see what happens there. But yeah, you guys have got me starting on time because AEW's pay-per-views tonight, and I'm watching it. So I don't want to still be doing this by the time the pre-show starts because there's going to be a lot of matches on that show. So I haven't got to watch them all. So hence the reason it's on time. So hopefully Aaron will be joining, but we'll see. But speaking of Aaron, the current charity for the month, Aaron's Aaron, you guys maybe I think you should be able to anyway. Yeah, it is SANS, which is Stillbirth and Neonatal Death Charity. So if you guys want to help with that, there's a link in the description down below where you can help Kerry Colours, which is Aaron, raise money for that particular charity. That will be his charity for the month of March, which is also Aaron's birthday month, which means there's also going to be a birthday stream at some point as well. Yes, you see. Aaron apparently going for the multicoloured hair look sort of thing, so it seems like he's had a fight with the hairdresser, or I'm not sure what else you've done now, or did Bruce do it? It's hard to...
I did it. It's just camera quality, I think.
No worries. So, yeah, there was a few technical issues today, so some of the stuff's not working properly. Just so everyone is aware. So, I can't bring up graphics and stuff, so that's an issue. I'll have it fixed by next week.
Yeah,
I know it's wrong. I just can't fix it. I couldn't fix it in time, and I don't want to be late for this because, they're gonna have a long night.
Yeah, AEW pay-per-view and all.
There's 3 pre-show matches.
3 pre-show matches.
And then the matches that run the pay-per-view.
Wow. I was thinking about watching it, to be honest. It should be a good show.
You should definitely watch the pre-show.
Why only the pre-show?
No, definitely watch both, but definitely watch the pre-show because Malachi's on the pre-show. I don't know how much you love Malachi, so that's why I mention it. I mean, yeah, I would watch the whole thing if I was you. I am going to watch the whole thing, but you specifically, I know you like Malachi. That's why I mention it. So there you go. But everyone, of course, Kerry Colours right here. This be Aaron. We already let everyone know about the change of the charity for the month and stuff like that. And also, there's something new for Aaron to be showing all the people, which we'll see how it goes. I'm not sure if this will show up on the screen or not because I've got a picture of it, but I'm not sure how well this shows. So we'll see. But for those of you who may be interested,
yeah, you can't really see it because it's kind of black on black.
Yeah, exactly. So, but we have a subscriber range now available for Aaron. So merch, people, new merch.
It's always fun.
Yeah, so go check out that stuff out and see how it goes from there. There's various links to everything, so you'll be able to find what's what, which is always good. So, starting everyone, of course, this is also your birthday month.
Yeah.
So there will be a birthday stream taking place.
Yeah, on the 17th, I'm doing a subathon. My first subathon as well, so should be interesting.
Yeah, it'll be fun. It's going to be a fun day. You're going to be doing your subathon for your birthday. We're going to have 2 very different days, me and you, I'll tell you.
All right.
You're going to be doing that. I'm going to be doing a wedding, so...
Yeah, I think you said before.
Yeah, so 2 very different days, me and you, but both for good causes.
Yeah.
So, also, it's one of those fun little things. I mean, the 17th. Yes, I believe it. Yes. So you guys go watch Aaron and do stuff. You can't watch me do the wedding. Sorry, no. So you guys, if you can go check out Aaron instead.
Yep.
Twitch stream, I would suspect. Yes, Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch stream. I might go live as well, as it's my birthday on Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah, keep your eyes peeled, people. I'm sure Aaron will make announcements as required to let you know where.
Yeah, obviously it would depend how popular it is, because like I'm going to be doing a 2-hour stream, which is my normal thing. But if anybody donates like subscriptions, then I'll be adding time on, which is basic rules of subathons and stuff like that.
Yes, your future wife to be has threatened to add someone apparently, so that could be kind of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how certain she'd be on that, since the last time I streamed, it was only supposed to be a 2-hour stream, and I ended up streaming for close to 4 hours, and she ended up falling asleep on the sofa.
There you go. I believe you uploaded an 8-hour stream to YouTube the other day. It appeared.
Yeah, the 12-hour one.
It only shows up as 8 hours.
Oh yeah, there's 2 parts to it. There's one 8-hour, and then because something happened in the first 4 hours, I had to stop it and restart. So there's the first video, that's I think the 4-hour one, and then it says the same title but continued afterwards, and that's the 8-hour stream.
Okay, because when I was going through stuff earlier, I saw an 8-hour thing pop up. That's why I mentioned it. But yeah, so that's my question. Obviously, a question for anyone else as well.
Yeah, it's in 2 parts, but I feel like it's kind of more manageable in 2 parts, because I don't think I'd be able to sit there for 12 hours and watch a whole stream unless I had like a completely empty day. And to be honest, some people probably won't want to watch like all of it. They probably want to watch like just like skim through and watch best parts. But I've had over 100 views on it so far, so it's doing well.
Well, that's good. But at the same time, sometimes people don't have the time, but they can always drop in and drop out of stuff, and keep checking it out. So
yeah, I mean, it was a very entertaining stream, as was last night's stream as well. It was quite fun.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I was pretty much dead to the world yesterday because I had 48 hours where I literally worked the entire time. So yeah,
yeah.
So me sleep pretty much most of yesterday. So
yeah,
well,
I've had like a bit of a last Wednesday I was supposed to beat the final boss in Minecraft on my realm.
I vaguely remember you mentioning this, yeah.
Yeah, I ended up spending 2 hours trying to look for said portal to Other Realm. So I found the portal in the last like 5 minutes of the stream, and then I was just like, I don't have enough time to kill the Ender Dragon now, so we're gonna have to do it this week. So it's been it's been annoying but kind of fun. But I got to the point where I was just like, there isn't going to be a portal. I'm being pranked here. Somebody's come to the fortress already and destroyed the thing, and they've sent me on a wild goose chase.
Fair enough.
And then I fell into the portal room, and I was like, oh.
I mean, I know obviously what sort of games you play and stuff when you're on the stream, but from what a few people I know have been telling me, a lot of people have been playing Elden Ring. Is it Elden Ring?
I've heard about Elden Ring. I believe Saggington plays it a bit.
So it seems to be a thing going around. Of people seem to think it's popular. I mean, you know me, I don't know nothing about them, but apparently it's being played a lot by people. So
I don't really play it much, to be honest. I mean, I woke up the other morning and I actually felt like playing Warzone, and I rarely play Warzone. It's just like a
Yeah.
random.
I mean, in all honesty, I'll say this: if I ever did like online gaming of any kind against other people, it'd have to be something like Mario Kart or like wrestling, because otherwise I just wouldn't care. Because I prefer to have fun with stuff rather than try and do it seriously. Because that's just me when it comes to
Yeah.
gaming. I can't do serious gaming. I find it boring.
No, I understand what you mean.
So that's me personally. I mean, for all those people out there who do it and enjoy doing it and they enjoy playing it seriously, that's great. It's just not for me. But everyone has their own tastes, obviously. And with the way my lifestyle works and what I do for a living, I don't have the time to just sit there and try and build something up like what yourself does, because I don't have the time to just sit there and just play stuff. I couldn't do like an 8 or 12-hour stream because I just don't have the time.
No, it's understandable.
So I need to, if I'm going to play stuff, it's got to be something I can pick up and put down. So something like Mario Kart would be an easy thing to do because you don't have to pay that much attention to it. You just pick up a controller and just start going, and that's it. It's easy.
Yeah.
So, but there you go. But yeah, for everyone who does enjoy your games and stuff like your Minecrafts and obviously, and let's see, what's the other thing you bloody black? Fortnite. There you go. If you Fortnite's your Minecrafts, obviously Aaron plays that stuff like, and there's another thing you occasionally play. I can't remember what it is as well, wasn't there?
Minecraft, Fortnite, and Cold War Zombies.
Zombies. That's the one I was trying to remember because you always call it zombies to me, so I have to try and remember. So
yeah.
So that's always that can be some fun stuff, I guess. But at the same time, I don't have a games console, so playing games online is kind of like not really going to work.
Nah.
So there you go. But maybe at some point, if there's a desire for people, if people want to see me do that shit, then maybe at some point. But
I mean, it's not everyone's cup of tea. I personally got into Minecraft because I liked the building side of things.
well, I think that's fair, because I think if you're going to do stuff online, you at least have to have an interest in it, whether it's like a full-on interest or a fun interest, or if you just want to take the piss out of your interest, because what we do on this show particularly covers most of that stuff, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, but there you have it, I guess. So, yeah. We do, however, have to start talking about the wrestling.
This is true.
Yeah, sorry, but we do. By the way, you're not hearing things, by the way. There's background music.
Oh, yeah, I can hear it now.
Yeah, I added that. I just figured it'd be nice just to have it just a little bit in the background for when there is silence. Doesn't happen very often in this show, but there are times.
Yeah, it's nice. Like a little change of pace.
Yeah, I can control the volume, so I've put it fairly low and just found a fairly relaxing song. Because some of the songs I could use are a bit more distracting. I don't really think you want that. You want something that's a bit more like what this is.
No.
So
You just like have heavy metal in the background.
if I was going to do that, it'd be Pantera, but we'd get slaughtered by YouTube if we did that. So
yeah, probably.
Well, the minute you play anything that's like owned by a record label, they hit you with a strike. So
yeah.
Yeah. Anyhow, we do have to talk about Raw, because this is the first show we are going to do, which of course took place on the last day of February.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
It certainly wasn't. And I'm going to say this in general about this whole week of WWE, right? You would think they would want to do something considering there's an AEW pay-per-view today. And AEW had a go-home show Wednesday for Dynamite, and they've had a Rampage one on Friday. You think they would have done something?
Yeah, but no.
No. I mean, you could argue the two title matches that happened were at least interesting. I didn't say they were good. I said they were interesting. It's a different thing. But we will see when we get to them anyway. Of course,
we won't have to wait long.
No, but of course we start with Raw, and the first thing with Raw I have is Kevin Owens, Chad Gable.
Yes, the Kevin Owens show.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Said nobody ever.
I don't know. Gable looked like he had fun.
Well, to be fair to the talent, if it's going to be like this, try and at least amuse yourselves, because otherwise, it's just trash.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what this was.
Well, essentially, what this was a setup for a tag match.
Yeah, that the champions lost.
Yeah.
Booking.
So, who reckons next week we get a tag team title match between these two? What do you reckon? Or do you reckon this was to earn a shot at a championship a championship contenders match?
I think they've already got their match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, but it's too soon. They've got to make it last ages. So they're going to have all the rematches.
Yeah, but then they run the risk of talent getting injured.
Again, WWE.
True.
And you're assuming they care.
I never said that.
No, but that assumption is about them risking them getting injured. That's an assumption that they actually care.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they do care if they get injured. I just don't think they care enough to make the storyline, some of these storylines interesting.
No, they care about them getting injured because of the involved.
Right, whatever the reason may be, they do actually care about them getting injured. Don't get me wrong, but I think the storyline wise, they clearly don't care.
No, I agree.
So, but as Aaron pointed out, in the tag match, Owens and Rollins won basically, and there's not really a lot else to say about it other than that.
I mean, the match itself was good, but the talent involved, you can't really you'd be very surprised if they fucked it up.
Oh yeah, wrestling wise, this was great for the exact reason Aaron just said. If it sucked, it would have been a much more surprising thing.
Yeah.
Just everything around it sucked.
I mean, I hate to say it, but Chad Gable's in a AJ Styles scenario.
I don't think that's fair or notice. I think he's much better than Omos is.
No, but what I mean by that is that he's in a tag team that damages him.
True, but to be fair to AJ, I think AJ is going to get a bit more of a spotlight after this show, but we'll get to that when we get there. But I do get what you mean, yeah. He's very much the AJ to Omos thing. This is what it looks like, at least.
I mean, what you're probably going to go on to about AJ is at the end of the show. Well,
I don't know. I have some thoughts about that too, but go on.
Yeah, I think we should wait until the end until we talk about this.
Yeah, I agree. See, next thing I have is Omos and T-Bar, unless there's anything in between. Because I only have the matches for the most part in certain segments.
No, that's all I have as well.
Right. Basically, Dijakovic has been on TV for ages. He's been doing main event against Veer because, of course, he has.
Repeatedly.
Yeah. So Veer has been coming, but on main event, obviously, still hasn't come to Raw. Make it that what you like. But,
yeah, I mean,
Aaron's bisexual, people. It's okay. And people can make up their own jokes there, right? So you got T-Bar against Omos again. Omos won.
Who's surprised?
This, bear in mind, in a week where we had Keith Lee in a really good match, and his indie rival, which is Dijakovic, is in a match against Omos.
I bet Dijakovic wish he swapped.
Yeah, I imagine so.
Never know, maybe he's on the lookout for retribution.
I will tell you all something. I'll tell you all of you something for nothing, though. Who looks like the smartest person of that faction right now?
No one.
Mercedes Martinez.
Though I forgot she was part of that faction for like a week.
Exactly. She was there for 1 week and then went, no, sod this, I'm going. So, yeah.
Think about it. Mia Yim actually looks actually pretty good as well, being as she married Keith Lee a couple of weeks back.
Yeah, which good luck to both of them, which is big thumbs up from us. And
Congratulations.
Exactly. You know, you could say she had a limitless wedding.
Yeah. Totally limitless.
And you know what happened on the honeymoon, right?
She basked in his glory.
There you go.
That's a lot of glory.
Exactly. So, right. The next thing I have up is the 6-woman tag match.
This was crap.
Yeah. And mainly because I don't see who this benefited at all at the 6 people in this match.
I was literally thinking the same thing.
Because you would think with Belair, Ripley, and Morgan winning, it would have benefited them.
Nope. Had no benefit whatsoever.
And it certainly didn't help Lynch, Piper, or Cross.
Nope.
So, yeah. But that leads us on to the next thing, which I at least found this interesting. Tommaso Ciampa against Robert Roode.
Interesting, yes. Pointless, yeah, pretty much.
That's why I went with the words interesting rather than good. Ciampa wins.
I'll say this. With Ciampa winning this, we knew that Ciampa was going to lose the following night. That's all I'm going to say.
Because, for those of you who don't aware, there is, on NXT, there is a tag match involving both of these guys with their respective partners. And as Aaron rightly points out, it's kind of foreshadowed what was going to happen in that match.
Yep.
Because they can't do booking where it's, oh, you never know.
No, apparently not.
Right, so next up I have a mixed tag match, which is Reggie and Dana Brooke versus Tamina and Tozawa.
Well, it was
As a wrestling match, this was bad. As a spectacle, it did what it was meant to do.
gross people out.
I'm not saying it was good though, but it did do what it was meant to do.
I'd like to point out here that Tozawa is married, I believe.
He is. Dana's got a boyfriend, FYI. In fact, she might even be married at this point. I'm not sure, but she's certainly got a boyfriend.
I believe Reggie's in the same boat there.
Well, he's got a boyfriend.
Girlfriend. Partner.
Okay.
Significant other. I'm not judging.
Well, no, it's because you said in the same boat, which I thought you probably meant boyfriend, because we do live in a modern time where people can fancy people of the same sex, So.
Really? Since when? I never knew this.
Oh, since I don't know. It's been much more common in recent years, of course, but but some reason some people don't seem to understand this is a thing.
Oh, what idiots. Can't imagine anybody being like that.
Yeah, well, there are some backward people in the world,
I can't exactly say I'm forward, being as I go both ways.
Well, you're kind of split on it, aren't you?
I'm as straight as a roundabout, me.
You say that. I've seen a straight roundabout before, so be careful saying things like that.
Of course you have. You live in London.
This wasn't in London. It was up in the Midlands, actually.
Well, that surprises me.
Yeah, London roundabouts are all round, or they're half ones. You don't get anything else other than that.
The half ones are horrible.
Yeah. We also get ones which are hidden, which is even more fun.
Oh, yeah. And one in the middle of a one-way street, if you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, seen that one, been that one, used that one too. So, can always be good fun. But, as far as that stuff goes, what people need to understand is, yes, some people will fancy people of the same sex. Guess what? Not an issue. However, those people who are of that persuasion, you don't get to go around lecturing everybody else that we all have to fancy the people of the same sex too. That's not how that works.
Nope. Oh, also, we forgot to mention that Raw has a brand new entrance and intro music theme.
I actually missed it, so
wasn't great.
Cool.
I missed the Skillet one. Skillet was good.
Yeah, well, you got to bear in mind, either nature, I remember the original Raw intro, which I actually think is probably the best intro.
Yeah.
Followed very closely by the Warzone one.
Mm-hmm.
So, but in recent years, the Skillet one's probably not that bad, actually, out of all of them. It's certainly better than the I don't know who fucking sung it, but it's a fucking piece of shit. It's something about having your balls out. I don't fucking remember who sung it. That's what it sounds like it's singing. Yeah, those are the actual words. It's just every time I hear it, seems to me like somebody's singing about, I've got my balls out.
Yeah.
But some songs are weird until you read the lyrics and you're like, oh, so that's what they're saying.
Yeah.
So weird shit happens. Anyway, as far as this mixed tag match goes, Reggie and Dana win it. But as Aaron points out, there was some weird shit in this match, including lots of kissing.
Yeah. Brooke kissed Reggie, and then Tozawa kissed Tamina.
Yeah.
Isn't Tamina married too?
Yes. The only person in this match who isn't actually married, I think, is Dana.
And Reggie.
I think Reggie might be married, but I can check that.
So, after this, we had a Street Profits segment, which was okay, and we found out we was going to get RK Bro versus the Profits.
Yep.
Then we had Dom and Rey Mysterio versus the Hurt Business. But before that, there was a promo segment between the Mysterios and Miz and Logan Paul, which was really boring. But it was the Miz.
Yeah, we don't have exact details on it, but he's got children, so I'm guessing he's at least probably been, or he's at least with someone.
I
But
mean,
there's nothing saying he's married, me and Reggie. But yeah, go on.
yeah. So the match between Rey Mysterio, well, the Mysterios and the Hurt Business was actually okay, to be honest, but it was a loss for the Mysterios, which really didn't make any sense.
Well, the Miz might have something to do with that, I guess.
Well, yeah, the Miz distracted them a little bit, but it didn't really make sense for like the momentum side of things.
You mean the Miz distracted them?
Yeah.
It was bullshit, let's be honest.
Yeah. Then we had an Arcade Bro pre-match segment that was cool, but then straight after the pre-match segment, we had another segment with The Undertaker being inducted into the Hall of Fame, so there was that.
Don't have a problem with them showing that one repeatedly because he deserves to be in there, but yeah, come on.
Yeah, but like, if you're going to do a pre-match segment, do it before the match.
Yeah.
And then we also, after the Undertaker segment, had a women's tag team champion segment where they accepted the challenge from Sasha Banks and Naomi for WrestleMania. So after that, we finally got to Arcade Bro versus the Street Profits, and the Profits still hadn't made their entrance.
WWE have a bad habit of doing this, and it's fucking stupid.
Yeah. It was a good match, and the Profits actually got the win. Dawkins took a page out of Mustache Mountain's playbook and knocked the foot off the bottom rope.
For those of you who do not know, that was not how the match was supposed to finish.
No.
Randy was injured in this match. Randy actually couldn't move for a while in this match. That's why they ended up losing. RK Bro was supposed to win this match. The ending was changed because Randy couldn't move. So the Profits had to change the match on the fly. Apparently Randy is okay afterwards, but he was a bit at the time. So apparently it's not long-term or serious, but this match probably was a bit off, at least for the ending for people, and that's why.
Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good match, and to be honest, I don't mind the fact that the Profits won.
Yeah.
I think, if anything, it makes it a little bit more interesting.
It does.
Like, you could turn it into a four-way at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I think it was more beneficial that the Profits won, but bear in mind, that only happened because of the injury, which I never like injuries happening to anyone, but I do think it's actually ended up being better. It ends up being a better match because of it.
Yeah, in all fairness, I think that Orton actually hurt his rib when Ford landed on him on the splash, because his knees kind of landed on him more than
that's when it happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw it and I was like, ouch.
Yeah. I noticed at the time and thought it was a bad thing. Then I looked into a few people and it was reported on Fightful Select, which is Sean Ross Sapp, and he basically turned around and informed everybody that Orton was injured in the match, and the match was originally supposed to go to the Arcade Bro. So that's how I know for certain, because Sean Ross Sapp has a lot of really good sources when it comes to stuff like this. So
yeah.
So credit to Sean Ross Sapp.
So after this, we had a pretty crap segment, which was Owens and Rollins. That was just what it was. Then we had
Yeah.
Veer Mahan teased again because he's still coming. Just we don't know when.
You do realise, right? Eventually, if it turns out he eventually comes to the ring, and he's got a manager, his manager would be like an edgelord.
What?
Oh, do you not know this term?
No.
When you tease somebody to the point of when they want to ejaculate and you stop them and you keep denying them over and over again, it can be called edge. If a person's doing it, they can be referred to as an edgelord. That's the joke.
Oh, I thought there was a different name for that.
There is a different name for it too, but I'm using the clean one.
Nice.
Yeah, you know the other one. I went with the one which is less. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not always about the gratuitous smut on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Only when it's necessary.
So, after the Veer Mahan thing, we had Finn Balor versus Damian Priest for the United States Championship. Before this happened,
And I bet nobody pegged this one at all.
I did.
Then you're probably one of very few people who did, honestly.
So, before this happened, we actually got a SmackDown recap of last week's Universal Championship dispute with Brock Lesnar beating the crap out of Brock Lesnar beating the crap out of a security team.
Brock Lesnar beating the crap out of Brock Lesnar, yeah.
Then a top 10 Instagram moment happened thing again. Then we had an Austin Theory and McMahon segment, which was like the first time in a couple of weeks. And we also had it announced that McMahon was going to be on the Pat McAfee show.
Which he was.
And it was actually pretty good.
There was a few things on that show, but we will get to that too.
Yeah. Finally, we got Damian Priest versus Finn Balor for the United States Championship. This sounded good on paper, but it took too long to get to, and we still had Edge's segment to come as well, which left about 15 minutes left of the show.
Yeah.
So a 10-minute title match between two really good wrestlers. I can't take anything away from either of them. They're really good, both technically sound. Finn Balor's a good striker, as is Priest. This was a great match. And we have a new United States champion in the form of Finn Balor. But before Balor could actually celebrate or anything, Priest pulled the carpet out from underneath his legs and said, "Oh, yeah, if it wasn't for this crowd, you wouldn't have it." So I don't get WWE's problem with Finn Balor. He's got a championship now. He's won. Give him his props. If Priest wanted to do this, do it next week. In your own segment. At least it would make sense.
I think it could be a case of they're going to probably try and flip Priest to being a heel.
Duh.
I think that's exactly why this was done.
Yeah.
And done badly, by the way.
It felt so rushed.
Yeah, that's why it was bad. You could have done this and make it easier. Like you mentioned, you could have had him lose the title. You could have had him allude to it, possibly as he leaves the ring. And then actually do this part next week, because then you've still got stuff to show next week, as opposed to what's going to happen next week is going to be Finn Balor going, "Yeah, Damian Priest, you beat me. Now why did you pull the carpet out from under me and beat the crap out of me?"
So Priest said the only reason Finn Balor won was because he had the audience carry him. And basically turned heel then and there with a clothesline and then a razor's edge on the announce desk.
Yeah.
Then after that, there was nothing. He just walked off.
So basically, yeah, no subtlety, no storytelling, just...
What made this worse is as they went for a recap of Edge's open challenge for last week, you saw Finn Balor walk off to the back.
Yeah.
So
Obviously
he
not Finn's fault, because
so badly hurt.
he has to leave the arena, obviously, but at the same time, they could have made it so he didn't appear on screen.
Yeah.
Because for those of you who are unaware, they don't magically make wrestlers disappear from the ring when they get beaten down. They leave on their own. Hate to break it to you.
Yeah. So we had a recap of Edge's Open Challenge from last week, and from what was left of the show, we had a main segment. And Edge hyped up the crowd, shouted, "So who's it gonna be? Come on, come on." It looked like nobody was going to answer the call, but then a certain phenomenal individual answered in the form of AJ Styles.
Called it.
Called it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He got in. He made his entrance, got into the ring, accepted. Edge said he didn't want Omos's bitch AJ. He wanted the pit bull. He stuck out his hand. AJ didn't take it, so Edge took full advantage as the ultimate opportunist and beat AJ to a pulp. AJ fought back and got low blowed for his troubles. And then Edge went a bit dark side and grabbed a pair of steel chairs and gave Styles not one but 2 concertos to the skull. Not gonna lie, this was good for storyline, but when did a low blow cause a man to pass out cold for 5 minutes?
I have lots of problems with this segment.
This physically made no sense whatsoever. After the concertos, fair enough, but before,
Right.
I've never seen somebody pass out from being kicked in the balls. You ever passed out?
I've never been hitting the balls like that. And to be honest, the times I have, it's never been an issue. But here's the thing, right? You may remember his feud with Nakamura.
Yeah.
Nakamura did this to him all the time, and it always took AJ forever to get up afterwards, right?
Mm-hmm.
Until the very last match they had, where AJ actually wore a cup. So you think after all those times, AJ would have learned by now, wear a fucking cup in a wrestling ring. It makes AJ look fucking stupid, for one. 2, why are you doing a second heel turn right after you've already done one with Priest?
It kind of takes away from a heel turn that's already happened.
You're damaging both heel turns by doing them to get together like with no actual gap.
Yeah.
Because the one you want people to go home talking about is the Edge one. Don't get me wrong, it certainly is.
I'm sorry, but here they should have had longer on the United States Championship match. And when Edge said, "Who is it? Who is it?" AJ should have come out, pointed at the WrestleMania sign, and that be it for that show.
I agree. That
Do
would have
this
made
next week.
Yeah, that would have been much more sense. I agree. This was dumb. What you just explained makes much more sense. Also means you don't dilute Priest's heel turn by having Edge do it literally 10 minutes later.
Yeah.
So
Not
you've already
even
got yes, you have the heel turn from Priest fresh in your mind, and there's no gap or anything else in between. Then you suddenly get Edge doing it.
Yeah. Ugh.
So what's a load of bollocks, basically?
Yeah.
Which is a shame, because I think these two could have a very good match together, but this is not a good start.
No. And nothing really happened for Edge to go crazy.
That's the other thing. What's his bloody motive? I'm sure we'll probably get it next week, and do you know what I think it will be? Any ideas? It'll be trope WWE. It'll be this. Oh, you people! You think
I
I'm
feel
joking?
like if anybody should have turned heel out of these two, hear me out, it should have been AJ.
The reason why you wouldn't have done it to AJ is because AJ's literally just turned face not that long ago.
Yeah, but Edge has always worked better face, in my opinion.
I don't
And
agree.
but if you have AJ as a heel here, you've got motive behind it. Because when Edge returned for the Royal Rumble, the first person he speared was AJ, and he actually injured him.
I get that it's probably an easier story to tell, but honestly, Edge is a better heel than he is a face. Always has been. Because Edge as a wrestler is generally a prick. Right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Look at his ultimate opportunist gimmick when he did that shit. That's a heel thing. And he did that for a long time.
True.
So, I do think the explanation is we're going to get is going to be saying like it's down all you people, or it'll be something to do with AJ not respecting him enough, blah blah blah. Yeah, it'll be some stupid bollocks that makes no fucking sense, basically.
Basically.
I mean, you are right. Storyline wise, if you're going to use actual logic and storytelling, the one you just explained makes more fucking sense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like it as a story though, but it makes more fucking sense.
Oh yeah.
But as I tell people all the time, not everything is for me. And that's okay. Some stuff you want to appeal to a lot of people, not just one type of person. So there may be people out there who actually like this happening. That's okay. I'm not with you, but that's okay. That, however, does give us to the end of Raw, which means Aaron's got to give us a rating. When he finishes screwing around with Minecraft.
3.
3. Is it Minecraft just screwing around with?
Yeah, I'm trying to fix things.
I kind of figured it's what you normally do when we're on stream if you are playing, so. Because it's normally you're building up stuff and trying to repair stuff before you do your next thing, so.
Yeah, I don't get the chance to do it when my mum's home because, yeah, she doesn't like me playing all the time.
Yeah. Well, we don't mind if you do it. It makes a difference to us whatsoever. So, there you go. This one, of course, does bring us to NXT 2.0.
Spoke too soon.
Yeah, so there you go. So Aaron's just going to deal with that momentary interruption that is called phone call from other people. So this brings us NXT 2.0, which kicked off with a tag match, which we did allude to earlier from Raw. This is Braun Breaker and Tommaso Ciampa against the Dirty Dogs. And after all, kind of what you'd expect happened here, really, for the most part. Not particularly surprising. It's just a continuation of how much longer can we make this last, I think.
Too long.
Yeah. So, do you have anything to say about this match at all?
What won? The Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode, and Ciampa and Breaker.
That's the one, yeah.
I mean, the match didn't even start and it all broke down, so it was just like early bird rules.
Yeah.
That was the stupidest part about this. Not even 5 minutes in, and Braun Breaker got hit with a zigzag and kicked out of it at 1.
To be perfectly blunt, that move is so unprotected at this point. It's people kick out of it all the fucking time.
Yeah. Hello, Bruce.
Bruce, you can't hit a zigzag. You're too small.
You can hit a squiggle instead.
Aaron could hit you with an RKO right now, but you couldn't actually hit. He can hit you with a zigzag.
Neither that or an inverted suplex.
You could stunner him right now, actually.
I'll stunner him in a minute. I'll staple his tongue to my book.
Wow, that's some bad booking right there.
Get off me.
Is he wearing a coat there?
Yep.
Okay. It's getting warmer. Why is he wearing a coat?
Don't ask me. It's my mum. She says hi, by the way.
Oh, hello.
She's on her way back from Blackpool, and your claws in my neck. Do you mind?
Well, yeah, that'll take a while then.
Yeah.
Depending on when she left, of course.
She left this morning about 11. But they had to take a detour to another place because they picked someone up on the way to go with them to Blackpool. They went to a Pride event.
Oh yes, Blackpool does have those.
My mum and my straight brother went to a Pride event.
Fair enough. Good for them.
I didn't get invited.
No, that's because you got too much pride.
Probably.
They didn't want to bring you out and bring shame to them because you can't really represent pride if you actually are bisexual or gay. I think you have to be a straight white liberal to really represent that community.
Yeah. Excuse me, those are my notes. Yeah, we do that too over WWE, but you can't really do it.
Well, to be fair, at least he's a dog. It's normal for him. Hi, Bruce.
He looked like he just threw up in his mouth.
Did he watch that Vince McMahon interview on Pat McAfee's show? Then he probably would have done, yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Bruce, you can heal.
Either that or he's looked at the booking sheet for the next few months until WrestleMania.
Oh no, he's trying to hide. He's got a thing for blankets. That's alright, I'll just rest my book up against him. It's fine.
Fair enough. So, yeah, Breaker and Ciampa, Ziggler and Roode.
Yeah. Yeah, I've only got the notes on the fact that he kicked out of the zigzag in the first 5 minutes of the match.
Yeah.
I mean, Dogs were in control for the first portion of the match, and then a picture-in-picture break happened, and the Dogs were back in control, and they had Ciampa isolated, threw Breaker into the audience, and eventually Ciampa made the tag, and Breaker took control, and it was almost over, but one fairy tale ending later, and Ciampa and Braun actually won.
Which, weirdly enough, you think is at odds with how WWE normally book shit.
Yeah.
Because it all happened on Raw.
Yeah, I thought that they'd lose.
Yeah. To be honest, I liked the fact it went that way.
Yeah, I did too, but also commentary saying that out of all the people in the ring, Ziggler's the only one that hasn't held the NXT title. It was just like, well, that's a bit of we know that because he's made that abundantly clear. That's why he's in the title picture in the first place.
Yeah, also Ziggler was never in NXT, so he couldn't find it anywhere.
Exactly. And for everybody else that actually knows, Robert Roode has been in NXT. He has been NXT champion. He was NXT champion just before Drew McIntyre returned, I believe.
Yeah, he got it from Nakamura, and McIntyre got it from Roode. Yeah.
I don't think McIntyre got it from Roode.
Yeah, he did.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, and then Andrade got it from McIntyre.
Yeah.
And then Andrade gave it to Gargano, who gave it to Ciampa, who gave it back to Gargano, who gave it to Aleister Black, who gave it to Ciampa, who gave it to Adam Cole.
And then Cole held it for a bloody long time.
Yeah.
And then he lost it too.
Johnny Gargano?
Keith Lee.
Oh, yeah, Keith Lee. Who then lost it to Karrion Kross.
There you go. We all know what happened to those two. So...
Who then lost it to Finn Balor. And we're pretty much up to date.
Yeah.
Now we're just waiting for Quill to hold it. Anyway.
Yeah, anyway. LA Knight.
LA Knight segment talking about Waller and his tainted victory last week. And next week we're getting Waller versus Knight, last man standing. I'm not fussed about this, but it should be interesting to watch.
I was going to say, I find the idea of the match interesting, but the feud is boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Dummy.
So, speaking of boring as fuck, we have Porter and Indy in a segment. And it's like the roles have been reversed. Porter's got her head in the clouds, distracted by Duke Hudson. And Indy's being the Indy of old, focusing on her wrestling. Because apparently she's pissed off Dexter Lumis. Because she used to date Duke Hudson. Used to being the operative words there.
This was fucking stupid.
Mm-hmm. What also sounded stupid but was actually quite entertaining. Next we had Wendy Chu and Dakota Kai in a tag match against Indy and Peralta in the Women's Dusty Cup quarterfinal match. Toxic Attraction was back in the Toxic Lounge again.
Unashamedly, one of my two favourite things on this show.
This was a good match, but a surprise as Chu and Kai actually won.
Yeah, that's why this is one of my favourite things on this show.
Yeah.
Everybody knows I'm a big fan of Wendy Chu because I love the fucking gimmick. I think it's fucking amazing, and she does it very well.
We then had a Diamond Mine and Imperium segment that was good.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like a promo package of sorts, but it worked. It did its job.
Yeah.
Then we had Knight and Waller was made official for next week. Last man standing. Then Amari Miller versus Lash Legend. Legend's single debut, because obviously she blamed Amari Miller for their tag team victory. Tag team loss last week in Lash Legend's non-single debut.
Uh-huh.
This... We also had a recap of the argument that happened between the two of them after their loss last week as well.
Yeah.
Which was good. At least it kept the story fresh in our mind. The match went back and forth, but a inverted AA of sorts got Lash Legend the win, and by AA I mean attitude adjustment, the move that John Cena does, just in case anybody's wondering.
And for those of you who are familiar with the move, that's called the Burning Hammer,
Yeah.
which actually was a banned move for a very long time because it's fucking dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And clearly it was to Amari Miller, who got carried out of this match. She's injured.
Yeah. So
That's why this move doesn't get used. It hurts people.
Yeah,
if you
I mean,
don't do it properly.
This match was good for storytelling kind of way, but at the same time, it was a bit of a down because, it didn't look very safe.
That's because it wasn't. She did not do that move properly.
No.
There's literally like 3 people who can do Burning Hammer safely. Leave it to those people. Don't do it.
Trent Seven. I think I've seen Tyler Bate do it once.
He would be another one. And the other one is no longer really active, and that'd be Tyler X, the former Tyler X.
Tyler X.
He was in WWE for a while. He had dreadlocks. So he was tag partners with Heath Slater for a while as well. This was a while ago, but he could do it.
I believe I've seen Ciampa do it once too.
Yeah, but Ciampa has done it, but literally once. He's never done it repeatedly.
And Adam Cole.
Adam Cole's a prick.
Yes.
And he didn't do it the same way either. The 3 people I mentioned have done it multiple times and have never hurt anyone. That's the difference.
Bate, Seven.
Yeah.
And Rex.
And Tyler, yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, hang on. No, there's a Japanese fella that's done it as well, but I can't remember his name. And he's very good at doing it.
Kibota Ibushi?
I believe it is, yeah. I would have to check that, but I think it is.
Yeah, the what was his nickname in WWE? The Golden Star of Wrestling or something like that.
That would make sense because he's one of the Golden Lovers.
Yeah, he competed in the inaugural Cruiserweight Classic, I believe.
Yeah, because he up until the last few years, he never had a contract with anyone. He was an independent guy. But Kota Ibushi, for those of you who aren't aware, the other half of the Golden Lovers is Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, he's another one he's the 4th person who's done that move and can do it safely and has done it multiple times safely. Leave those moves.
I believe I saw him do it in the Cruiserweight Classic.
Yeah, leave moves like that so people can do them safely and have done them multiple times safely.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, don't touch those moves because there's a reason people don't do them.
Yeah, well, it really made me kind of disappointed was that when I found out Kota Ibushi was a jobber in the WWE Cruiserweight Classic, he was literally there for one match.
It's because he wouldn't sign a contract. That's literally what it was.
Yeah. So I really enjoyed his match in the Cruiserweight Classic, so I'd like to see him wrestle some more.
If you scour YouTube, you can find a bunch more of his matches, and there are some.
I have.
Yeah. Or if you're minded to, you can find New Japan World, the app or the website. They've got a bunch of archives you guys can watch as well.
I've just thought of someone else. Bryan Danielson's done it a couple of times too.
Yeah, but not ongoing. It's literally like here and there. I'm talking about people who've done it regularly.
Yeah, I mean, once you've got it in your arsenal and you've perfected the move, you can pretty much pull it off.
Someone like Danielson is technically gifted enough that he can do it.
Yeah,
and you know he can do it.
Pull the trick out of the book when you need to.
Yeah. But this way, if I was ever going to take a move from anyone, if I had to pick, it would be Danielson.
I don't know. I think I'd like the experience of having it done to me by Trent Seven. Just because I get to meet Tyler Bate afterwards, maybe.
Yeah, but I don't trust them for it not to hurt. I think Danielson would if you take it from Danielson will do the less damage to you by doing the move. That's my concern. Because not being funny, for an example, we talk about the chops thing every so often, right? The idea of taking a chop from Walter It's funny, but I wouldn't want to fucking do it.
I think you should introduce Walter to Knoxville. Get him to do this is the Water Chop. My name is Johnny Knoxville, and this is the Water Chop.
Well,
And add that
he
to
is.
his movie.
Well, to be fair, he is around, and he may need something to do. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Oh dear. So where did we go to? Yes, we are actually on Walter now, as it happens.
Yeah. Before we had that, though, we had a Solo Sikoa pre-match segment, which was good, intense, short, sweet, nice.
Yeah.
Everything a pre-match promo should be. But what it shouldn't have is another segment afterwards, and this is exactly what happened because we had Briggs and Jensen with Elektra Lopez. It was a funny ass segment, but we just had a serious thing with Sikoa. Just leave that before the match.
Them round.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. This match between Walter and Sikoa was set up last week because of what happened. So yeah.
And the general seemed to be angry, like really angry. I would not want it to be Solo Sikoa. I mean, especially after what happened last week as well. Couldn't really blame him after the super kick to the face.
Yeah, but you know, you got your match here. This was the second thing I enjoyed in this show.
Yeah, I was looking forward to this match, in all honesty. I feel this would have worked better as a DQ or a double count out to be less damaging on either of the people in this match.
I don't think it hurts Sikoa though. That's the thing.
No, the way that the match went, it wasn't extremely damaging, but it wasn't. He's no longer undefeated, is what I mean.
Yeah, but I don't think that's damaging because if your first loss happens to be to Walter, you're not really hurt by it because it's not like you've lost to a low grade opponent. You've lost to probably one of the top people in the organization. You don't really lose anything by losing to good wrestlers. Good wrestlers can lose to good wrestlers and it not cause any damage as long as it's done like this.
Yeah.
Obviously, it can happen where it's damaging, but this, I think, works because of how it was done. And who it was to. That's the important thing.
Mm-hmm.
And too often, WWE particularly, don't do this way. And that's why people end up getting damaged and end up in drops and losing spots because they don't do this properly.
Yeah, I mean, to start off with, this match seemed to just make Walter look good. But then it actually got a bit deeper into the match. The momentum switched either side, and Sikoa was in control, and then Walter was in control, and 2 power bombs later, Sikoa was pinned.
This match did 2 things. It made Sikoa look good, and it made Walter look good.
Also,
and that's what you want.
The fact that Walter had to powerbomb Sikoa twice as well,
right,
shows him Walter has an amount of respect for Sikoa as well because he didn't think he was going to get up off. If he thought peak of himself, he'd have just done 1, done. But he made sure he did 2.
Yeah, 2 things there. Makes Walter look smart because he's like, okay, 1 may not be enough. I want to make sure. It also makes Sikoa look good as well because it means Sikoa's like, I'm a badass. It's going to take more than that would do to beat a normal person to beat me.
Yeah.
So yeah, they both look good at this. Walter won, but it didn't hurt Sikoa for this. This worked for both guys. So yeah, my second favorite thing on this show.
Yeah. So we're going to go from something really good to something... We had a Ciampa, Ziggler and Breaker segment that caused the match next week to turn into a triple threat match between Ciampa, Ziggler and Breaker. And they're calling NXT next week NXT Roadblock.
For those of you who don't remember, Roadblocks used to be one of the pay-per-views before WrestleMania.
Yep. We was talking about this last week, wasn't we?
We were, yeah, that pay-per-view
It was
before Mania.
It was
Fastlane,
and then Fastlane.
Yeah, and Chamber, of course, because that's why the subject came up.
It was Chamber, and originally it was Roadblock, but then they changed it to Fastlane.
Other way around, my man.
They changed Roadblock to Fastlane.
Fastlane was first. Then you had a Roadblock for a couple of times, and they turned it back to Fastlane. They shifted them around a bit, basically, is what happened.
Yeah,
Fastlane never disappeared. It just moved into a different part of the year when they did that.
Just turned into like a rock, paper, scissors moment between the two shows.
Yeah. Because to be honest, the only one that has a distinctive thing about it out of the three of them is Chamber. The other two pay-per-views don't really have anything that's gimmick specific or stands out about them.
No, it's understandable.
Yeah. So NXT next week is Roadblock, so we'll see what happens with that, of course. Next thing I have here is Haaland against Draco Anthony.
Yeah.
Not a lot to say about this for me. Do you have anything to say about it?
The hug afterwards caught me off guard.
Yeah, that's because you're weird about hugs, is what it is.
No, it's because of Haaland's character. It's not what I expected.
Well, there you go. Could be why they did it, though. Bear that in mind, to try and throw people off.
If they did do that, then fine, clever. But I don't think they did. I think they just did it because they could.
Oh no, I agree with you. I think that's exactly what it is.
Also, I think that they did it more because of the fact that they want more tag teams in NXT.
Yeah. That's pretty much it, yeah. So Haaland won, and yeah, there you go, really.
Yeah, it wasn't the best match either, to say the least.
Haaland matches generally aren't, mainly because I think, and this is in Haaland's defence, because I don't blame him for this, it was too soon.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, bear in mind, this is the developmental brand, but still, he would have been better off if you kept him on, like, level up for a bit and had him do stuff there, maybe.
Yeah. I agree with that.
So, not only Diamond and Haaland, I think Haaland could be good with the right experience and training.
And that's just the caveat, isn't it?
Yeah. Which is an unfortunate thing for some of this talent is a lot of their downfalls and pitfalls is because of bad training, bad booking. But there you go. Anyway, another Dusty Cup tag team match coming up for the ladies.
I wasn't the greatest fan of this. It didn't do anything for me, really.
No, we nearly had another injury in this match. Fortunately for one of the young ladies involved, she nearly overshot her crossbody over the top rope.
Yeah.
And she was bloody lucky it was to the person she did it to, because that person caught her ass.
Mm-hmm.
So, special mention to Raquel Gonzalez for protecting the young lady involved. Big thumbs up for me for that one. Protect your people you're working with. Big fan of that.
Yeah. We also had a Carmelo and Trick segment that was okay, but it felt like a pre-match segment and it wasn't the match yet. So it made no sense.
Yeah. But yeah, to sum up this tag team match short, it was won by Gonzalez and Cora Jade. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Not really much else to say of that, but obviously they just advanced into the next part of the Dusty Cup. Yeah.
I mean, the whole match between Gonzalez, Jade, Leon, and Faraz it was just botch city.
Yeah, I specifically mentioned the Gonzalez thing because that would have been bad if it hadn't have been her. Because if she'd done that and it had been Cora Jade, wouldn't have been Cora's fault, but Cora could not have dealt with that the same way.
Yeah, Frozen Leon just basically looked ridiculously green. There was grappling mistakes, there was high flying mistakes, as you've mentioned.
Yeah,
it was horrible.
To be fair, this is also meant to be for the mental brand, so this stuff will happen. But even still, some of this stuff is dangerous when you do this. Unfortunately for them, one of the people that had involved was the right person to protect them, especially doing things that they did.
Yeah. After this, we had a Diamond Mine segment, which was Ivy Nile and Paxley talking. It was interesting, especially after what happened last week with Niall and Paxley.
Yep.
But it's the complete opposite of what I was expecting. I was expecting a feud, but instead, Paxley still wants in on the Diamond Mine.
That's not necessarily a bad thing. They may be trying to develop like a story here, which I don't have an issue with, because too often they'll do we've got to have a feud thing. No, give us a story. You can always feud later. It's fine.
Yeah.
So also, you mentioned it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
I like interesting. Interesting will at least keep me engaged as opposed to.
Then we got another segment where Sarai was showing off her necklace to a bunch of women in the locker room, and Tiffany Stratton jumped her because she said no to her. And of course, Sarai was dressed as a schoolgirl.
Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I'm saying nothing about it. Honestly.
This looked and really badly looked like schoolyard antics. Hello.
And that's why I'm not touching it. This was fucking stupid. Why would you do it? Speaking of which, hi Bruce.
So after this, we had a really stupid segment, which was Tony D'Angelo. Okay, I'm going to say why this was stupid. It was just pointless, because this was the first time we'd seen him after his loss to Pete Dunne in the weaponized steel cage. And we got absolutely nothing from it at all.
And you know why that is?
Booking.
Yeah, it's not his fault. He's doing what he's been asked to do. But unless you give them a direction or something to actually do, this is what you get, is shit like this.
He said that his next opponent will be sleeping with the Fishers, and I was like,
it's at least in character, because it's something he has said before, but still.
Pointless.
Way to enforce an Italian stereotype there.
Italian, mafia, same thing.
It's not, but yeah. Because not all Italians are mafia, just to be clear.
Get off my notes. Off.
He said, by the way, he said notes, people. He didn't say nuts, just to be clear.
Off. He's off. Right.
Next thing I have is Von Wagner and Adrian Chase.
This was Wagner's rebranding.
Yes.
And Wagner seemed to be on fire and was really destructive in the ring. Chase had some momentum, but a distraction by Stone brought it outside. Wagner hurt Chase's student and ate a ring post for his troubles. Chase took too long and paid for it with a loss to Wagner. Like, this was good, but it wasn't great.
It was definitely an improvement, though. That I will definitely give you, because Wagner was a lot better here than he has been.
Yeah. And I think you got Stone to thank for that.
Oh, I agree. Because I said this to you before. I think Wagner needed like a mouthpiece or a manager, and
Yeah,
I
this
think this will
worked.
help him. Yeah.
It's just like with Stone ringside as well. It kind of like it had like a kind of Ring of Honor vibe to it back in the day when Stone was there.
Yeah, you say that, but if you say he's in Ring of Honor now, then there might be a bit of an argument with Vince McMahon right now, considering. I don't know if you know about that or not, but I'll
I
ask
do.
you that in a bit. Oh, okay, right. So,
Right, hang on, which part?
the fact of who owns Ring of Honor now.
Yeah, that's what I knew. I know about that. Anybody who watched Rampage knows about that.
Dynamite.
Oh,
it was Dynamite. It was at the very beginning of Dynamite.
Yeah. So after the Von Wagner thing, we had Nikita Lyons in an interview segment, which was good, and she called out Lash Legend because Lash Legend name dropped her in an early segment. This was short, sweet, and I guess okay.
The best thing I would say about this is it did what you'd want it to. That's pretty much it.
Yeah. Speaking about doing things that we want him to, Pete Dunne versus Carmelo Hayes was next.
Well, he didn't do what I wanted it to, but yeah.
Nope.
Because
Melo's still champion.
Yeah, basically. Which does bring up the issue of, so, Pete Dunne, what are you going to do now?
Main event?
Ring of Honor?
To be honest, I could see him going up to main roster night after WrestleMania.
Yeah, and they'll rename him. He'll be Pete German.
Somehow, I don't think so.
Bear in mind what they did to Walter. That's all I'm saying. And there is a reason I am not calling him by the name they call him now.
Could be worse. Could call Pete Dunne like Sweeney Todd or something.
To be fair, if you want to actually call him by a different name, you could just call him by his real name. It's not that different.
No.
So it's, in fact, you could almost say it's super patriotic. Just not to America. And of course, if your patriotism isn't American, then apparently you're not a patriot. According to everything you hear from Americans, I'm like, yeah, shut up. Because I hate to break it to them, the rest of the world exists. Well, most of us have existed a lot longer than you have. So shut up. But there you go. But as Aaron pointed out, yeah, Hayes won this match. So
yeah. This was Trick Williams again, and I'm starting to get really pissed off.
I was going to say, don't get me wrong. Carmelo Hayes is great. Nothing wrong with the guy at all.
Trick Williams can fuck off.
Yeah, basically. Don't have a problem with Hayes keeping the belt even, really. But it's more because of who it was against. That's the issue, because now what's he going to bloody do? I mean, are they going to try and throw him into that triple threat match because of that? You know, the one that's supposed to happen next week at Roadblock? Make it a 4-way?
I don't think so. I think I think there will be another triple threat, but it will be for the North American Championship, and it will be Pete Dunne and Cameron Grimes versus Carmelo Hayes, with Trick Williams banned from ringside.
Sorry, who were the 3 people again? Sorry, for the North American one, you think?
Carmelo Hayes, Pete Dunne, and Cameron Grimes. Because both Cameron Grimes and Pete Dunne got done over by Trick Williams in their respective matches.
That's a fair shout. I actually kind of like that.
So, have Trick Williams suspended in a shark cage up above the ring. That'll do.
Works for me.
Haven't used the shark cage in a while. It's gathering dust. Why not?
I was like, yeah, it's been a fair while. I can't think the last time it was used.
Enzo Amore springs to mind.
Yeah, that I definitely remember. It may have been used since then, but it's not been. It's been not been for a while. I know that much.
Or Chris Jericho.
In WWE, it would be.
Or was it Reginald in shark cage?
I think Reginald was in one more recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or was it James Ellsworth?
You got it, Ellsworth. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Ellsworth.
I know he was in one, and that's probably much more recent. So yeah.
I know it's cold outside, but you don't have to go outside and then come straight back in and run under the covers. He's literally on my lap underneath the blanket.
To be fair, he probably went outside and went, no, it's cold, I want warm, and dogs can sense warm, and obviously the male lap is generally quite warm, so it makes sense.
He's probably got outside to go to the toilet and then come straight back in, and he's just...
Yeah.
He's just warmed himself up and now he's just run back outside.
That's fair enough. I understand that. Anyway, that was NXT. It wasn't Bruce. It was NXT 2.0.
I gave this week a 5.
Yeah. I can probably guess what it was given for too.
And certain things that happened weren't great.
Yeah. Would I be right in guessing that those marks probably came from Sokoa and Walter? A lot of that. Yeah. I figured as much. Makes sense to me. But that, of course, brings us to NXT UK. Where we kick off here. Well, what I have listed, I've only got the matches list for NXT UK. So if you have anything else, obviously let me know.
Yeah.
So the first thing I have here is a match, which is Mark Coffey versus Shah Samuels.
Hang on.
No worries. Minecraft, when you absolutely have to play a game.
I'm just killing a load of things so that way my game doesn't lag.
No, that's fair enough. That I actually understand. Because if you don't do certain things in certain games, it can affect what's happening.
Yeah, because if this lags too much, then it might affect the internet, and then this might lag.
Yeah, let's not have that. I don't like that. I don't like it when shit lags.
Yeah, I don't either. So, first we had Shah Samuels versus Mark Coffey.
That's what I have listed.
Yep. This was a pretty physical match with two hard-hitting competitors, but this went back and forth, and eventually Coffey prevailed. We then had an A-Kid and Dempsey segment that turned into a De Familia jumping segment of A-Kid.
Yeah.
Then Isla Dawn musical segment about her match for the title. It kind of had like a Blair Witch kind of vibe to it as well, which was interesting.
I'll say that was one word for it. I would have called it cheap and nasty, actually.
Mm.
I don't like the Blair Witch, so
Yeah.
I think it looks cheap and nasty. That's why the description that is cheap and nasty.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't help that it sounded like a tacky kind of musical.
It sounded like one of those musicals you get on like those 90s TV shows like Buffy.
Yeah.
Which is lame unless you, I mean, if it's your thing, then great, but they are lame.
Yeah. Then we had a Mustache Mountain and Smith Carter segment that was intense, but we got a rematch out of it, and it will probably happen in a few weeks' time. Then we had Stars and Mastiff versus Pretty Deadly, and Nigel McGuinness was in full commentator heel mode.
Yeah, and Aaron, of course, loves this match because his favourite team's involved.
So, yeah, Stars finally got his bomber cut on his entrance from Mastiff, and it actually came into play because Pretty Deadly nicked it near the end of the match. That drove Stars mad, and he fought, got his jacket back, and absolutely beat the crap out of Pretty Deadly. And, yeah, Stars won this match for the tag team.
And as everyone can tell, Aaron is devastated that Pretty Deadly lost.
Yep. Heartbroken.
For anyone who's new to viewing this, to clue you into this, Aaron does not like Pretty Deadly. He hates them.
Then we had a Zaya Brookside segment getting help from her dad. Then we had an kind of
her dad. You may want to explain that one to anyone who doesn't know who that is.
Zaya Brookside's dad is Robert Brookside, who is a British wrestling legend.
Yeah, because bear in mind, there are young people who watch this stuff and people who aren't familiar with British wrestlers, but Robbie Brookside was a big deal in British wrestling and still is, actually. And yeah, that's who her dad is. So if you're not familiar with the guy, look him up. You can probably find him in YouTube as well, various matches. He appeared in WCW as well in matches too. So was pretty much made a big thing over here, over in the States rather, I should say. For the bigger promotions when Steven Regal turned up. So that's also why he's obviously involved in this sort of stuff well, because Regal kind of opened that door too. So it's good to see. But yeah, his daughter currently is now, of course, NXT UK, and having an appearance like from Robbie Brookside is never a bad thing because the guy's talented. And there you go. But that's that bit anyway. Only thing I have listed here, I mean, Aaron may have more stuff. He'll let us know when he comes back. But the only other thing I have left on my list is the main event, which is Dragunov versus Nathan Frazier. And yeah, boy, this is gonna be fun. Said everyone but Frazier, I'm guessing. So, because yeah, people associated with WWE, you probably don't want to have fights with. I would have thought Dragunov would be one of those people. Apparently, some people are dumb and want to fight people like Dragunov. Does seem a bit weird. So much weird. Sorry, Bill. Yeah, as far as the actual match goes, Dragunov won, so he retains the belt and beats Frazier. Now, makes you wonder about Frazier though, because he's had matches now against Walter and Dragunov fairly close together. That you cannot have a healthy mental mindset if you are going to do things like that. I just don't get why you do it. It sounds very painful. Weirdly so. But there you go.
I hate this dog. Just won't do as it's told.
No, that does seem to be a thing for him.
Mm-hmm. So I got up
Tyre
to
and Robbie Brookside.
Yeah. We then had an ominous segment after this, and it seems that a wild boar is making his imminent return, and it looks like he's out for vengeance against Symbiosis.
You'd expect that.
Yeah. I mean, like when he was cut off from the faction, there wasn't much in the way of an explanation for it or a reason why he was just cut off.
Yeah, which is a bit weird. I mean, we may get a bit more of it. Obviously, now he's going to be back.
Yeah. And to be honest, he looks a lot more darker than what he was beforehand.
You may want to explain that comment, by the way, because darker can mean a lot of things.
Well, I mean it in kind of like before he was like animalistic. Now he's wearing like a cloaked black hood and skeletalized Hulk head. So he kind of looks a little bit more evil.
There you go. So more like a dark motif sort of thing is what you actually mean.
Yeah.
Because you can be dark as in characteristic, you can also be dark in appearance and stuff. So it helps to be descriptive as to what you mean, because it can inflict different things upon the character.
Mm-hmm. So following that, we had a Noam Dar versus Joe Coffey promo package. That was good. Also, Charlie Dempsey versus A-Kid has been made official for next week. Then we had Nathan Fraser versus Ilya Dragunov for the NXT UK Championship. But funny thing about this, Ilya Dragunov had his music changed, so there was no Russian lyrics. He had his wardrobe changed as well, so there was no Russian trench coat. And there was no mention of Torpedo Moscow when he hit his finisher for the win against Fraser. They said that he used his head.
Yeah.
And then there was no mention of his nickname either, the Mad Russian.
Yeah.
Or the Tsar.
Now,
obviously, with certain events taking place at the moment, they're being very, 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 very careful.
And I think that's fine. Honestly, they've not actually damaged or changed his character at all. They've just muted certain things, which at the moment are not going to go down with a lot of people.
I mean, circumstances the way that they were with the heat in Russia and the Ukraine at the moment, I wasn't expecting Dragunov to retain. I was expecting like politics to get in the way of a Russian champion at the moment, so they give the championship to Fraser.
Yeah, but this is a thing I like to explain to people, right? And I think this is why you don't do that, okay? Because it kind of re-emphasizes the point. The Russian people are not the enemy here.
No.
These decisions are made by dipshits who are in charge of countries, right? So nothing to do with the average normal person.
Yeah.
So the fact that Dragunov happens to be Russian is actually not Dragunov's fault. You can't help where you're born.
Yeah, he's actually Russian German.
There you go. So the fact is that he's wrestled, he's retained, but they've not mentioned the Russian aspects of his character. I don't have a problem with that. That's fine. Be sensitive to what's currently going on. But at the same time, they've also not treated him like a pariah either.
No. I mean, if you watch this match as well, it looked like it could have gone either way throughout the entire match. There wasn't like a stone's throw between the two of them, except for the end.
to be fair, Frazier also pushed Walter as well, so that's perfectly consistent.
But also another thing that I noticed, there was no audience in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So this was all pre-recorded.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious as to why.
I
mean, it could be a load of...
I think you can probably guess why. We've just finished talking about the gentleman in question. Because, not being funny, today in central London, for those of you who are unaware, the whole of Trafalgar Square was filled with people protesting about what's going on. Now, if a bunch of people, audience, had gone into NXT UK studios and done the same thing, you would have had a big problem. So I think that's probably why, because Dragunov was going to be there. Despite the fact, as I said before, it's not his fault what the leaders of this country decide to do. It's never the fault of the normal person.
No.
These decisions are made by dipshits who think they know better than everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And FYI, if you're American or British, we've got the grounds to talk. Our leaders fucking suck too.
That they do.
So there you go. But to all the normal people out there, with the normal Russians and Ukrainians, stay safe, safe people, and don't let shit happen to you just because these people are stupid. That's all you can say, really, I think. But bear in mind, my opinion, I'm not going to doesn't mean it's Aaron's opinion. I'm giving my opinion here, okay? If anyone has an issue with my opinion, you have every right to have an opinion your own. Absolutely. You do not have the right to tell me to have an opinion, though. That isn't my own.
Nope,
It's as simple as that. Am I happy to have a discussion with somebody? Sure. I'm okay with that.
As long as it's a two-way discussion and not a one-way discussion.
Well, no, then it's not a discussion. Then it's a lecture.
Yeah, I've had plenty of those.
Yeah. I'm open to discussions. Don't mind those at all. I'm happy to hear them because you'd learn stuff from talking to other people. As long as it is a discussion and not a lecture. If I wanted lectures, I would sign up to university. Or online classes.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But anyway, that was NXT UK.
Yeah, I gave this week a 7. No, not 7, 6, sorry.
Obviously, so you gave it a sickle.
No.
Never mind, but that's a 6, did you say, yeah?
Yeah.
6. Okay.
I mean, this week in WWE on a whole wasn't very great.
No, it wasn't. There was. We can't touch before. There were a few things which I liked, but most of this stuff this week was bad. Speaking of which, SmackDown
is coming up. Level up.
Yeah. No, there's a reason I'm mentioning SmackDown now. We'll get to Level Up in a sec, okay? Because before we actually talk about SmackDown anyway and Level Up, we're going to touch upon the Pat McAfee and Vince McMahon interview. Because it relates to SmackDown. That's why we're touching upon it. There was a lot of people out there who seemed to think this was going to lead to Vince McMahon versus Pat McAfee as a match. Are you people fucking mental?
I bet they had their hopes up so much after what happened on the show.
Don't get me wrong, I would have fucking loved to see it. I'm not lying, because I think Vince at the age he's at having a wrestling match would be fucking hilarious. But
I mean, I would too, but at the same time, I still think he'd probably end up like beating Pat McAfee up.
But that's the problem as well, because you just got to think about it from a mentality point of view. You can't win there. If McAfee won that match, he's meant to, and if Vince wins it, it doesn't. It damages Pat McAfee. Why the fuck would you do that? It's so retarded.
Oh, I hate this dog.
But a lot of people figured this interview thing with Vince would be like a setup to this so-called match, and of course, it wasn't. Because this interview, for the most part, pretty much was Vince being actually Vince McMahon, not Mr. McMahon, Vince McMahon.
Yep.
We did learn a few interesting things from this interview, which I'm going to touch upon some of them. Because there was a slip, I suspect it was a Floridian slip, but people have made a bit of an issue with this. Vince referred to Linda at one point as his then wife. And he wasn't wearing a wedding ring.
What? Who? Sorry? Who wasn't wearing it?
Vince McMahon.
Oh.
Now,
so you're back in the Bachelor game.
I don't know if that means anything, but this was something that got spotted. So I also noticed it too. So there is that. We also found out an aspect about Vince McMahon I think a lot of people wouldn't be aware of before we get onto the negative shit he came out with. One of the reasons Vince McMahon actually goes to the gym and works out as even at the age he's at now. And I suspect this answer would surprise a lot of people when he said it. Why do you think Vince McMahon goes to do workouts?
Yeah.
Why do you think Vince McMahon goes to do workouts, Aaron?
Because he likes being in shape?
Well, the answer he actually gave to Pat McAfee was for his mental health. Yeah, that caught a few people's attention too, yeah.
I mean, that's something that's been questioned a few times.
It's one of the reasons we're mentioning it here too, because we've questioned Vince McMahon's marbles, let's be honest.
Yeah. And lack of.
Right. The thing is, because this was not in character, this is just Vince McMahon. I know a lot of people who do workouts, and part of the reason they do it is for their mental health. So him saying this, I can believe it, but you don't necessarily. Yeah, but you don't necessarily connect Vince McMahon with mental health.
No.
Especially when he's been, and also in the same interview, and this is where we this is where we come in the negative thing. He referred to the released WWE talent as dead weight.
The fuck? Seriously, what the?
Yeah. For those of you who want to watch the full interview, you will be able to find it on YouTube. Just look for Pat McAfee's show. It is actually on there. So just have a sit down. It's about an hour and a half for those of you who want to watch the whole thing. So skim through it. It is worth.
You can put yourself through that.
It is worth it if you can do it, because it's an interesting interview considering he's out, because Vince is out of character. This is Vince McMahon, not Mr. McMahon. And Vince actually does come across like an actual person. You may not necessarily like the person, but he comes across as a person.
For the first time in like never.
Since 2014, actually. Which was the last interview he gave on a podcast, which was to anybody?
Oh, I know this one. I can see him and I can't think of his name. It wasn't Jericho. No, it wasn't.
No.
Um,
To be fair, that's a good guess.
Dave Meltzer?
Oh, I'd pay to see Meltzer interview him. That's almost up there with him being interviewed by Tony Khan.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it.
Can you imagine? I literally, right? I would like to see this as a podcast, right, for an interview thing. I'm not kidding. Give me Jim Cornette, Paul Heyman, Vince McMahon, and Tony Khan, and just sit them down as a panel and ask them fucking questions.
Oh yeah, I'd watch that.
It'd be beautiful.
Get Eric Bischoff to host it.
Yeah, you ruined my bit. That's going to be the next section of it. It'll be bloody funny though.
It would, yeah.
But for those of you who are interested in the Vince McMahon interview, I would look it up. It is worth it if you've got the time and you can tolerate sitting through it.
Yeah, it's like sandpaper in a fingernail.
Nails on a chalkboard, I think is the term.
Yeah, sure, let's go with that.
Because that's an actual saying as opposed to the one you're trying to make up.
I want it to be original, sue me.
Okay, I'll sue you for your spot at the Pride Festival. Oh, wait, no, you didn't have one, did you? Because you actually are bi, so you can't go. You have to be straight and white to be able to go to these things.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. It's just like plain old opposite day.
Plain old fucking stupid day. So yeah, because it's like I equate that to people on Twitter who like stick their nose into things like Black Lives Matter and gays, lesbians, and stuff like that. The vast majority of people who complain about that shit online about misrepresentation or not being represented aren't from those particular groups. They are straight white liberals who think they know what's best for everyone. Fuck off. Let all these groups decide what's best for them and let everybody get on with each other. Stop sticking your fucking nose in and making shit worse.
Yep. What Peter said.
Yeah. There you go. But anyway, now we've got that section out of the way because that also relates to Vince McMahon because he's a fucking idiot as well. So, okay, so yeah, so Aaron will do his 30-second level up roundup.
Give me a moment. I will compose myself.
It's all right. I'll wait for you to get ready. It's fine. Let me know when you're ready.
Jeez. Oh, great. Love getting a text message in the middle of a podcast. As you do.
I get them all the time. It's just my phone's on silent, so that doesn't make noises.
I'm sorry.
To be fair, I've done a lot more of these than you have, so it's a bit different.
Yeah, no. I keep my phone off of silent out of habit because my mum.
And not being funny, knowing you just get to switch it back on again.
Yeah. That too.
Yeah, there's a couple of people I know who like that. I would never tell them to do it because I know for a fact they'd forget to turn it back on again.
Mm-hmm. It's one of them things, isn't it?
Yeah.
Also, a side note, the WWE Network is still advertising the Elimination Chamber on the 20th of February.
Cool.
It's been past the 20th. of February.
Should we go watch it then?
I've already seen it and I don't want to watch it again. I don't want to give Saudis the money.
Bear in mind, obviously, guys, we're talking about the one that's available here. So we've got the actual WWE network. Whether the Peacock is still advertising it, we don't know.
So, yeah, NXT Level Up. I'm ready in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go.
So, NXT Level Up, Dante Chen versus Javier Bernard. Good match. Dante Chen won by a roll-up. Tiffany Stratton versus Eric Young was an alright match. Stratton won by a springboard corkscrew plunger splash. Legado del Fantasma was next versus Inoue and Blade. A rematch from the Dusty Cup. A great match. Legado won. It wasn't clean, but due to distraction from Lopez. And that's your Level Up.
You did it with 4 seconds to spare.
Nice. I really thought I was going to mess up on the way that Stratton won.
I noticed on the way you said it, you was a bit wary of that.
Yeah. Springboard corkscrew plunger splash.
You did that very well. I was actually kind of impressed because that's a hard thing to get out very quickly.
Yeah. I did it.
You're like, you kidding me? I did it.
Not quite like that, but okay. I mean, it was all very good matches.
Okay, it was your impression of you doing Rocky. Okay, so shush.
Mama, I did it.
You have one very confused dog behind you, just stared at you like, what the hell?
He's probably wondering where Ismar is.
I would have thought not too far away. It's nearly 10 o'clock our time.
Yeah, they did a recording of them coming over Rochester Bridge not long ago, so...
Well, that's not that far away from you.
No. So I'm just enjoying my time while I still have it.
I actually crossed that bridge on Thursday.
I cross it pretty much on a daily basis at the moment.
So yeah, I crossed that bridge and then turned and went south into Kent. So
yeah, I'm always in and around Essex at the moment.
That makes sense.
It's fun, but not when there's so much traffic.
You know, the irony being is if there was an actual bridge from where you live, it'd actually be quicker.
Yeah, but there isn't. So.
I know.
If only.
That does, however, mean we have to touch upon SmackDown next. We've covered everything else. On the plus side, though, it does mean we are nearly done.
That's always good.
So SmackDown. First thing I have is the IC title match.
That's not what I have.
Okay, go for it then.
The thing that I have really annoyed me.
Yeah, go for it.
It was the introduction to SmackDown. You had a list of individual segments talking about what was happening in the show. And it went in this order. Started with Paul Heyman talking about Roman Reigns. Then Ronda talking about how she was going to lay the smackdown on Sonya Deville. Then Deville talking about the only memorable thing about tonight would be that Ronda lost her first match on SmackDown. Then the Viking Raiders said they were taking the titles. Then the Usos said they're not losing the title because they're the ones. Then Ricochet said that he was going to take Sami Zayn's title. And then Sami Zayn said he's going to retain his title because he's the best Intercontinental Champion in history. And all of these together took about 4 minutes, and it felt so fucking rushed. It was just ridiculous. A ridiculous way to start the show. And it was really difficult to note as well.
Yeah, what a load of fucking bullshit.
Yeah, just I didn't like this. Please don't do it again.
They probably will, though.
Yeah. So then Sammy went out to the ring and we had a recap of what happened last week between Sammy and Knoxville. Then Ricochet came out for the match. Sami Zayn versus Ricochet for the IC title. Looked good on paper. And Ricochet almost had the match straight out of the gate. Not gonna lie, Sammy seemed out of his element early on, but that changed after a suplex on the apron. Zayn took control. Sammy was targeting Ricochet's neck from the looks of things early on as well. Sammy was in control. Knoxville came out, distracted Sami Zayn, and won Hurricane Rana later, and we had a new champion.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, this match was okay. Just what the hell is Sammy losing the IC title for this quickly? Like, what the fuck?
Under different circumstances, this would have been good.
Yeah, but this just wasn't good, like, at all.
That's the point I was about to get to. Because how this happened, what happened, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
And possibly the only thing you've done is remove the IC title from the match that he's going to have with between Zayn and Knoxville.
Yeah, even though we thought it wasn't going to happen because of Knoxville's head injury.
Yeah. Well, that'll teach a few people.
Yeah. We then learned two things on a McAfee segment. That one, Mr. McMahon was inducting The Undertaker into the Hall of Fame himself. And two, that Pat McAfee will be having a match at Mania. But we didn't know who it'd be against yet.
Did you say Vince is inducting him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a few people wondered about this, and there's literally only one or two people who could have done it, because the person who probably should have done it is obviously no longer with us.
Yeah, that being Mad Moody.
Yeah.
Or as we all know him, Paul Bearer.
Well, I know him by a different name too, but yeah. Yeah, but the two that are alive, it's either Vince
or Kane.
Or Kane, yeah.
Or Shawn Michaels.
No. I don't go with that one, because the Kane thing was a much more personal and intense feud.
Yeah.
And Vince, because, well, Vince is obvious why Vince, so I don't think I need to explain that one.
Yeah. So after this, we didn't know who the challenger was yet. And we had a Sami Zayn segment where he lost it and challenged Knoxville to a match at WrestleMania as well. Then Austin Theory came out and said McAfee was set up by McMahon, and Theory got in McAfee's face and said he was his opponent at Mania, slapped the headset off of McAfee and ran away like a little bitch. Once Pat McAfee had his headset back on, however, he tore into Theory, asked who it was and everything.
Yeah. And this is exactly why we did the Pat McAfee interview with Vince McMahon before we did SmackDown.
Yeah. So then we had Naomi versus Carmella. And this was the start of the tag team between Naomi and Sasha Banks. And found out that there will be a women's tag title match at WrestleMania this year between these teams. Naomi got the win in this match pretty quickly as well, to be honest. And then we had a Happy Corbin segment with some people playing poker and making fun out of McIntyre and Madcap. We also found out that McIntyre will face Corbin at WrestleMania. And then we had Jinder Mahal versus Drew McIntyre, a good clash between two previous tag partners and two previous world champions. However, one Claymore later, it was all over and Drew was victorious.
Yeah. Firstly, yeah, there was a women tag title match that involved the only two women's teams on the fucking roster.
Yeah.
And Drew versus Drew versus Corbin, rather, at WrestleMania. Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? You can fuck off with that one. What a fucking shit match to have at Mania.
Yeah.
No offense to either one of the talents, but my God, this has been poorly done. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Then McIntyre cut a post-match promo and it was okay, to be honest. Then we had a recap of Reigns and Lesnar's segment from last week with Lesnar destroying security. That led to pretty much nothing. Then we was brought back by Boogs and Nakamura, and after the ring entrance was made, almost made I should say, as the Usos jumped both Nakamura and Boogs from behind. They're in the basket. Yes, they are. I put them there myself, in front of the arrow. Sorry about that.
It's alright.
The Usos jumped both from behind and we didn't know why. But then Roman Reigns came out. What made no sense was that Nakamura and Boogs were nowhere to be seen after Roman actually made his entrance.
Yeah, they went to the Finn Balor school of leave. We get beaten down, but then we just leave.
Yeah. What would have been better is if they were still left laying while he was making his entrance. It would have made more sense.
Yeah, or what they could have done to make it really authentic is have him filmed, and as he's coming out, they're both walking off behind him in the background.
So Roman came out and did his in-ring acknowledgement thing. We then found out Roman is also defending his title at Madison Square Garden yesterday, as well as Brock. But he doesn't know who it will be against yet, and then Roman kind of lost it and said at Mania Brock will acknowledge him. I have a thing about this. Because the Usos jumped Nakamura and Boogs, I've got a funny feeling that Roman would probably have faced Nakamura yesterday at Madison Square Garden. Because that at least makes sense.
Well, I kind of know some of the stuff that happened at that event.
I don't know who Roman faced. I haven't heard anything.
If not so much that, it's more of what happened at the end. Basically, Lesnar got attacked and Roman had both belts at the end. With the Usos either side of him, so...
Not surprising.
Yeah.
The silly thing about this is they said about all these championship matches and everything, but they didn't even put the event on the network to make it decent enough to so we could watch it.
I think the point was to try and get people to come to the house show because I think, well, they call it live events anyway, but the live event because apparently the tickets hadn't been selling that well, so that's why they put all the shit on it basically to get people to go.
Mm. Then we had Usos versus Raiders. Was a good match, but seemed like a waste as the Usos won after using the 1D, which is basically the 3D. Then we had Big E versus Sheamus. Before the match even started, Kofi got a steel chair to the back and Big E got chop blocked. And then Sheamus and Holland took the ATV. And during the break, Holland and Sheamus smashed up the ATV with sledgehammers. Then we had a recap of Sammy. Then we had a recap of Sammy losing his IC title. and Knoxville accepting Sami Zayn's challenge to a match at Mania. Then we had a darts moment with Corbin, Moss, and McIntyre using Angela as a dart. Then a Ronda Rousey interview segment, recap of her getting jumped, and also the confrontation with Charlotte Flair. That led to this match being made. That was a main event. We then had Sonya Deville versus Ronda Rousey. I don't know what the introduction was all about, and before the bell rang, Charlotte Flair made her entrance too and caused a distraction and joined commentary for the rest of the match.
Yeah.
Charlotte.
For those, I was going to say, sorry, for those of you wondering, that Madison Square Garden house show, Brock Lesnar had a match against Austin Theory, and that's what Roman Reigns interfered into.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that. For those who've seen those pictures online of Roman with both the belts standing over Lesnar, that's what that's from. This way, if you have Twitter, it'll be easy enough to find.
Yeah.
But yes, she was saying she's going to be on commentary for the remainder of the match.
Yeah, the
Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, Charlotte answered a load of questions on commentary. Also said that she wasn't bothered about facing Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, and that Ronda was a one-trick pony with the armbar. But then after Ronda won the match, Charlotte and her got face-to-face, and in the blink of the eye, Rousey had Charlotte in an ankle lock, and Charlotte was tapping out. The ankle lock was very angle-esque, you could say, which was good, as we know, Ronda's tagged with Kurt Angle once before.
Yeah, Ronda knows how to do the ankle lock. She's been taught how to do it, so.
Mm-hmm. She's got more than one trick up her sleeve.
Yeah. So
and yeah, that was SmackDown.
Yeah, basically. And what did SmackDown get? Oh, I put it as 3, so I was close.
Mm.
That's fair enough. Yeah, so basically that is WWE for the week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was all WWE.
So that's the bad stuff out of the way, but in a couple of hours' time, for me anyway, I don't know what Aaron's doing, is we'll get the good stuff start, because AEW. So, because I'll be watching the Revolution pay-per-view, because I want to. It'll be fun. We're going to see some good stuff there. But as I was saying before, although obviously people, if you get the chance to see the Vince McMahon interview, do sit down. I would really recommend people do watch it.
If you like watching paint dry. But there are some interesting parts.
Yeah. Have you watched the whole thing? Right, there you go then. Right. Yeah. If you can't do it all in one sitting, then just come back to it. But honestly, it's worth watching, especially if you're interested in like how high and why Vince probably does certain things. I think it kind of explains a lot.
Mm.
So, also, I think Pat McAfee managed to get a lot out of Vince without being too confrontational as well, which is very hard to do with Vince. So I think he did very well there, did Pat McAfee. I think it helps as well because he's literally in a position where he doesn't have to give a shit. Because if he had got fired, it wouldn't have mattered to him. He could have got another job. He can get another job just like that.
Mm-hmm.
I also liked the fact they took the piss out of Michael Cole.
Yeah.
Big fan of that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the guy only knows 4 moves, but yeah.
You'd think he was Cena, but wait, no, Cena actually knows more moves.
But you can't see Cena, that's the problem.
Well, McAfee can't, we know that.
No.
So, yay. All good fun. So, obviously, people, for those who want to support Irish charity this month, it's Sands. So, link is in the description down here.
Yep.
And
We've already raised £15 this month, thankfully.
I saw.
And yeah, there's already 5 counters in the swear jar because I've now got a thing on my stream where if you've got 1,500 channel points, you can add a counter to the swear jar. And somebody was very generous with that for the past week.
Yeah. Well, put this way, there's a reason Aaron doesn't get penalised for swearing on this show.
Thanks.
Yeah. Because if he did, he'd have no money ever.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with the subject matter we're talking about, he kind of can't help it.
No.
So
Yeah.
it could definitely be a lot worse, though, people, when you think about it.
He's been a little sod today.
You've got to get under the sofa. Come on, you shit.
He starts growling at you in a minute and you scream at him.
Kiss, kiss. Bruce, come on. Kiss, kiss. Oh, yuck.
And they called it puppy love.
Yeah.
Try down to his feet, and I'll tread on them.
Although he probably hasn't washed since he went to the pee not that long ago, so. So maybe want to be careful not kissing said puppy.
Oh,
Yeah.
Considering.
Pink eye or something.
Sorry?
Get pink eye or something.
Or something, yeah.
ST puppies.
valuable. Yeah, valuable.
So now for the extra important questions, right? So have you seen Rampage as well as Dynamite? Okay. Right. So you know what all the matches are for Revolution then. Okay, because they made some on Rampage. That's why I asked.
Yeah, when is that starting anyway?
I would guess midnight our time.
Is that included in the pre-show?
That is the pre-show. The pre-show will be midnight. I also suspect. I can tell you in a second. Just bear with me. I just need to find it on here. I have it on the Fire app, so I can literally tell you when it will start because there's a countdown on there. Yeah, the main show's at 1, which means the pre-show will be midnight. Yeah, midnight. Midnight for the pre-show, 1 o'clock for the main show.
Yeah. You got the buy-in and then you've got the main card, haven't you?
Yeah, there are 3 matches on the buy-in for those who are unaware.
What matches are those?
It's the 6-man, the House of Black, against the Luchas and Redbeard.
Right.
Statlander and Hirsch, and QT Marshall and Hook.
Oh, I want to see the Hook match because I want to see how he does against QT Marshall.
Yeah, those are the 3 pre-show matches.
We've got an hour and 40 minutes dead on until it starts.
Sorry, indoors. Going out.
But what I like about the fact is it's a 1 hour pre-show and you're going to have 3 matches. So a lot of that will probably be matches.
Yeah.
And I'm a fan of that.
Because I'm not a fan of segments.
Nah, me neither. I mean, have them to a degree, absolutely, on a buy-in show. But you definitely want more matches to make people want to buy it. And when you've got that much talent, When you've got that much talent, use them. Why not? The fun part, of course, will be some of the matches on the main show because they will have their fun moments. Now, here's a question for you. Obviously, you saw Rampage. Now, did you guess who was going to be the partner? Or did you think it was going to be Abrahantes as well, like most people did?
Who? Did I think it was going to be who?
Well, you know how Count Dracula, Abrahantes. Did you think he was going to be the third person in the match? Because I know a lot of people did.
No.
Nah, I didn't think so either. I didn't know. I will say I didn't know who it was, but I was pretty sure it wasn't going to be him.
No, I had a feeling, but I didn't think it was going to be Redbeard.
In the front row.
Yeah, I figured they'd get somebody, but yeah, he was definitely not the person I would have first thought of. But at the same time, I'm happy to see him.
Yeah, I mean, Puck and him have got history. They're good friends outside of wrestling.
Yeah, does help. Also, though, did you see him when he got into the ring size-wise compared to everybody else? He's a big boy.
And they kind of need that against King.
Yeah, and King's a big man himself, but you saw him against
Yeah, no.
Eric. Yeah, not even close.
Yeah.
Redbeard is huge.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even just height; he's just big, which makes it worse. It's why him and Harper look so like, oh, no, thank you, when they were together because they were both like that, and that's even worse when you have a team where they're both like that, and they can wrestle the way they do.
Yeah, I also heard on a interview. I can't remember what channel I was watching, but Keith Lee did an interview, and he said that he wants to work with Redbeard, and I was just like, hang on, what does he mean by work with? Does he want a match with Redbeard, or does he want to tag with Redbeard? Because if he wants to tag with Redbeard, the exits are here, and there.
To be fair, it could end up being both things at some point. I'm not opposed to that.
No.
Although if you want to see big man chaos matches, the ladder match I think might be the thing for that.
Yeah, Wardlow, Lee, Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah,
And that's just 3 of them.
Yeah, but then of course the other 3 people in that match are Orange Cassidy, Ricky Starks, and Christian.
Yeah.
And one of them doesn't like heights. Another one of them has been in every ladder match you can ever think of ever. And then you've got an egotistical maniac, which is Ricky Starks.
I just didn't know that Orange didn't like heights. That should be interesting.
He was in last year's ladder match, and literally he would go really climb slowly up the ladders, and then he'd go back down a few steps because he realised he's too high. It's really funny to watch.
So he's in it for the entertainment value more than anything.
That would be my suspicion, but bear in mind, some of the people in this match could probably throw him high enough to reach the bloody ring, so he wouldn't need to climb anything.
Yeah, well, Wardlow being one of them.
Well, him, Lee, or
Powerhouse.
Hobbs. I think any of those 3 people could throw him up to get to it.
Yeah. It'd be funny if one of them built him and on his way through the air, he just like slipped his waist around the tight or whatever's hanging and fell off and was like,
oh no, it's the Faces of Revolution thing, so it'll probably be the brass Sonic ring again.
ah.
That'd be my guess, because the winner gets a TNT title shot. After Scorpio Sky gets his, though, which you'll
This
be
is
on
my
Dynamite.
This is my first Revolution, because I haven't seen one before.
Yeah, last year's was won by Scorpio Sky, the ladder match, and basically it's like a big Sonic ring you had to give retrieve.
Yeah.
And if it's the same thing, trust me, you'll know, because it actually looks like a Sonic ring, should you not. Because it's a piss take, because Vince McMahon said about trying to reach the brass ring, and that's literally what it looks like. So yeah, you kind of know it's a piss take, but it's a funny piss take, not a mean-spirited one. So, but that's what the winner gets anyway. It's a TNT title shot, which will be against the winner of Scorpio Sky versus Sammy.
Mm-hmm. So it'll be against Sammy.
I would think so, yeah, but it depends what sort of state Sammy's in after that trios tag match that's going to happen on this show.
Yeah.
Considering it's tornado rules.
Yeah, also what happens between him and Darby Allin during the match too.
Yeah.
After what happened on Rampage? Dynamite.
Was Rampage, yeah.
Yeah, should be interesting.
What I want to see in a 6-man trios match is what insane thing Sting's going to do. That's what I want to see.
Yeah.
Because I think that would be fun.
Mm.
So, but what I would like to see, though, going back to the ladder match, I would like to see Brian Cage come out as well. Because then you've got more big men in that match.
I forgot about Brian Cage.
And he has an issue with Team Taz as well, which is the other thing. I think that would be quite fun.
Been out for a while as well.
Yeah, and he his option got picked up as well, so he's there for at least another year.
Nice.
So it'd be interesting and fun. Let's see, what else do we have? The match I'm least looking forward to is the 3-way tag title match.
Can't imagine why.
I think everyone can guess why I don't like the idea of this match. When you bear in mind that my favourite person, the only person I really care about in this match is Luchasaurus. It kind of tells you everything you need to know.
You don't like Jungle Boy?
I'm not talking about my favourite person in the match. I like Jurassic Express, but Luchasaurus is my favourite of the two. But that's not a knock on Jungle Boy. I think Jungle Boy will get there. He just needs time, basically.
Yeah.
But I like Luchasaurus because he's so ridiculous. Again, it's the Windy Chew thing.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I like ridiculous, especially as long as you make it work properly, and I think he does.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about actual wrestlers in this match, then it would be Jungle Boy. So
definitely not the Bucks or Red Dragon.
Sorry?
Definitely not the Bucks or Red Dragon.
No. I have a suspicion as to what's going to happen in this match, that match anyway.
Mm.
So, shall I say, what do you reckon?
I have a feeling it's going to be a quick match.
I will go so far as to say, I reckon what's going to happen is Jurassic Express are going to keep the belts. And it's going to be because one of the other tag teams costs the other one.
See, I like that. But I think, like, one of the Red Dragon or one of the Bucks will turn around and lay down for one of the opposing tag teams and take the belts that way.
Possibly, but that goes against the story they've been telling. And generally, they don't do that in AEW. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not out of everyone's possibility for it to happen.
No. And to be honest, I don't think it will, but I think it would be cool if it did, because it would be something unexpected.
To be fair, in a multi-man match, what they actually should do, right? Because everyone's going to be... I'm not sure if everyone's legal or not. I can't remember what the rules are.
Not
but
from what I've heard.
But no, the trick is if everyone's legal in a match, like the Tornado Tag match, what you do is if you're the Red Dragon or your Young Bucks, one of you lays down and your teammate covers you. Because then you don't have to kick out because you're being pinned by your own guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, which would be a fun way to do it. But I suspect you probably can't do that. I suspect this is a traditional freeway, as opposed to what the trios match is later.
Yeah, I mean it's still a trios. It's still a trios, so it's going to be no disqualification. But at the same time,
It'll be a freeway, but I still think you'll have to be able to. Well, it's not going to be tornado, which is the issue, because you're not going to be able to just pin whoever you like. You're going to have to tag in and out and stuff.
No.
So, let's see. Other highlights really. Moxley and Danielson. Hello.
I was trying to wave. Come that way. Let me sit down.
So Moxley and Danielson.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie, I think Moxley will win this. But then that'll break all chance of Danielson and him working together because Danielson won't be able to handle it.
I think, honestly, this is the hardest match to actually pick who will win. Because it can work either way.
Yeah.
There's no real downside to whoever wins this match.
Whatever happens, I hope they do work together because it'll be interesting to see.
Well, I think that's the thing. I think every eventuality is possible from this match because of the two people involved. You can make it work. Yeah. You can make it work.
Just don't overwork it.
No, but I don't think either one of these two is likely to do that, to be perfectly honest. But let's see. Probably what's going to be the bloodiest match on the entire show. Punk and MJF.
Yeah, I've not seen a dog collar match before, so it should be interesting.
Oh, they are different. I'll definitely give you that one. But as I told anyone who's watching last week, if you've never seen one, you can go back to Dynamite at the end of 2020, where you can watch Brody Lee against Cody Rhodes in one. To give you an idea.
Is it a less tame version of a strap match, basically?
There's a lot more danger involved, simply because with a dog collar match, for those of you who haven't worked it out, you mentioned a strap match. Obviously, straps you're attached by the wrists. Dog collars is by
your neck,
around your neck. And those chains are not the same as the straps. They have less give to them. You can't rig them to do anything because that's dangerous. So they are legit chains attached to leather collars, which have to be very tight around the neck because if they're not, you'll just fall out of them.
I think Kaylee had it out the fridge. I don't like them.
So, choking, ripping a skin, blood, expect a lot.
And then, of course, you have the dog collar match.
Yeah.
Anyway. Huh?
Was that just because of Grace's dog collar?
No. I was talking about wrestling. There's nothing religious about it.
I know. I was joking.
Or it's either that or he's talking about things he's going to get Kaylee. But anyway.
Probably already got her a dog collar. I've been away for the weekend. They've probably been being a bit kinky upstairs.
I wouldn't call it a dog collar. I'd call it a Pandora bracelet like a normal person.
Yeah, but that's boring. That's not anything sexual, is it?
Well, it depends on how grateful they are, I guess.
Well, we are both are. You know, when mum's away, the kids will play.
Not so much kids anymore. Mum, 25 in a couple of weeks.
Surely it's the mice will play.
Well, less than a couple of weeks.
You'll always be my kid.
Do you?
I hate to break it to you, mate. No matter how old you get, you're always going to be your mum's son.
Child, you're always going to be my child.
Yeah. Doesn't matter how old you get, that's always going to be the case. So you can't really avoid that.
I've only got 11 days. And a quarter of a decade.
Yeah.
A quarter of a century.
Yeah, Aaron's starting to feel old, aren't you?
I forgot it was my birthday this month.
You're catching up with me. I'm half a century, so.
What should really concern you is if he overtakes you.
Well, yeah, that would be a bit weird, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It'd be like my mum to find the fountain of youth and not share.
What? I'm going to have a tag on, and then I'm going upstairs.
Well, there is a way to do it. So it's you that ages and not your mum.
My bedroom wasn't. I can't go to bed tonight.
Okay, well, I've got a pay-per-view to watch at midnight.
Yeah, that's all right. You can go to bed. That's actually fine.
Yeah, but bear in mind how many matches they're going to be. That's probably not going to finish until like 5 or 6 in the morning, I suspect.
You're at work tomorrow.
No.
It's a good job, they really, isn't it?
Why?
If you're up all night watching pay-per-view,
Mm.
you know what your mum's like. She might come in your room and watch it with you.
Well, I think you'd be interested. It's AEW, it's not WWE.
Well, why are you watching that then?
It's
Why are you
the
watching
best.
that?
Because I've
It's the
watched it, because it's better. It's more fun to watch.
There's one on television that I see sometimes. quite
Yeah,
late
that's
at night.
AEW.
That's not pay-per-view though, because I get it down here.
Yeah,
No,
that's Rampage and Dynamite.
Yeah, those are the television shows. Every 3 months or so, they have pay-per-views.
Ah. But you get them on here every week though. On the telly, normal telly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some of them I know the names of.
Yeah, like CM Punk and...
Yeah,
Yeah. So used to be WWE guys.
that's what I thought, yeah.
Bruce!
So
No.
What's what you get AEW?
AEW.
AEW, what's that stand for?
All Elite Wrestling.
All?
Elite Wrestling.
Oh.
There's a dog collar match on tonight. I've never seen one before. And they can get really brutal and bloody and gory.
Oh, well, what time's that one on?
I think it's on main card, so probably about 2 o'clock in the morning.
It is on the main card. I think it'll be later than that. I think it'll be more towards the main event. So I'm guessing it'll probably be like
3 a.m., 4 a.m.
I think you're looking at least between 3 and 4, I'd suspect.
What if Darren don't see it?
I'll see it through my eyelids.
Yeah, I knew I was going to say that.
But saying that this is AEW, not WWE, so I'll probably end up staying awake.
It's much easier when you're entertained as opposed to trying to fight sleep.
That cat shit on the carry bag. Well, I picked him up by the scruff of the neck to drag him outside.
Mm.
As I dragged him outside, he shit all the way along the kitchen floor. I didn't realise. Got to near the front door, could smell shit. Looked at my shoes, and shit all over my trainer and all over the floor near the front door. So, and then this little dirty bastard, he's going behind, licking it up. So I had to run quickly and try and throw the cat out and clearing all shit up before he was eating it.
Nice.
The cat did one in the kitchen earlier. Was it runny?
No.
Was it sort of like an orangey colour? This sort of colour.
I don't really want to discuss this on a podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the third podcast, where we rate the colour, consistency, and texture of the shit.
Shit happens. Welcome to Shit Happens, hosted by Peter and Aaron.
Oh, if I can stink the shit now.
Today's subject, WWE. Anyway,
Yes, incoherent, messy, and all over the place.
and that's just the W.
Shit.
I've got a present for all the guys. Buddy.
So, let's see. So, the other two things would be the women's. Well, actually, there's 2 women's title matches as it happens.
Yeah, TBS and AEW.
Yeah. They're both on the main card.
That's good.
And there's also a women's match on the pre show, too. So, there's actually 3 women's matches in total.
Nice.
So
What's the third one?
Get out!
Statlander and
Oh,
what's that
legit
place?
Layla Hirsch.
Yeah, and the TBS is Cargill and Conte, and the women's is Britt Baker against Rosa.
I hope Thunder Rosa wins. Not
Is he
gonna lie.
watching it?
Yeah, I would like that too. I don't like Britt Baker.
I've got bored of her.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I don't like it. I find her very, very meh. And I don't really think it's necessarily her. I just think she's just like got stuck doing just that one thing, and it's just very boring.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and also doesn't generally win matches on her own. Needs help all the time. Yeah, not a fan of that.
No.
Who does she think she is? The 1980s Ric Flair?
More like the noughties DX.
Oh no, the 90s Ric Flair. He literally every world title match he won, he did it with the help of the Horseman.
Now that explains why he's 16-time world champion.
Yeah. Flair's first 7 world title reigns were all done with the help of the Horseman.
At least John Cena never had a crew.
Well, he did. You just can't see them. Nice. And then, of course, there's the world title match, which is the main event, which is Adam Cole against Adam Page.
Who's the better Adam?
Page.
I can tell you who's going to win.
Page.
Adam.
Yeah, I would say it, Page. Adam Page will win. Adam Page.
I'll put a £5 on that Adam wins.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shouldn't it be Adam Page against Ethan Page and Christian Cage and Brian Cage and Steel Cage on Rampage?
Sure, let's put JR in hospital again.
What I just said is an actual meme. It's been going around the internet literally since they all signed. So somebody literally came up with a list of had to do Page and Cage in a cage on Rampage and all the rest of it.
Did you hear about that bloke that...
And I'm a child, so I think it's funny. But go on.
Yeah. Did you hear about that football match that happened the other week? And it had like 4 different Johnsons, 3 on one team and like 1 on the opposing team. And they were playing at like Johnson's Road Football Stadium or something like that.
No, I didn't, but I like shit like that because I just think it's funny. See, that goes up with when I was younger, there was a match I watched where there was 5 players on a team called Paul, right?
Yeah.
And all 5 of them scored. Because things like that are just weird and funny, so I like them because they're weird.
Mm-hmm.
So it goes back to the same reason why I like Wendy Chu. It's different and it's funny, so you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to do something. Keep yourself awake, young man. You look tired.
Yeah. Like my mum said, she's been away for the weekend.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, Well, that's the thing, though, Aaron, because you didn't show any pride, you see. So, you know. Where was your pride, Aaron?
I might have wore a rainbow condom. You never know.
And I don't intend to find out either. You should be more concerned if it's a musical one. Yes,
I
there
get
is.
the feeling if it was a musical condom, it would have sounded like a kazoo.
No, it'd be. No, staying alive, staying alive. Staying alive.
Dance fever, dance fever.
Along the same lines, isn't it?
Oh, burn, baby, burn. Disco, burn. Yeah.
Basically calling Carrot a charity.
Hmm?
Well, if it's the YMCA, then it's definitely a pride condom.
Oh,
It's YMCA what?
it's definitely a pride condom.
Yeah. But does that come with the uniform though?
It comes with a free Indian.
What, the food or the bloke?
Food.
Options, Aaron, options. Cool. That's it. You should probably let all you lovely people go, and we'll speak to you later.
Yeah, fair enough.
You can catch Aaron on his Twitch streams Monday, Wednesday, Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Doing
And
his
of
various
course-
And
bits and pieces.
every other day in between.
New subscriber merch as well. Feel free to go check that out. And yeah, that's about it, really.
Oh, and Subathon on his birthday, 17th.
Oh yeah,
See, I pay attention.
yeah.
What's that on the 17th?
Subathon.
What's that?
It's a Twitch stream thing.
Basically, he'll stream for like a couple of hours, but if people keep like adding and donating stuff, he has to keep going.
Yeah, every donation is like 15 minutes.
So do you do a minimum time and then
Yeah. And whenever the added time runs out, I can finally end the stream.
Of course, the thing with that is the more longer it goes on for, the more the charity gets.
Mm-hmm.
Always a good thing.
so
Yeah.
someone donate money?
Yeah, so either donate money or donate subscriptions. Ow!
Attack him with your toe then.
And Aaron is replicating the Vince McMahon Pat McAfee interview from earlier in the week. And with that, you see you soon.
Yeah, we're going after your toes, so it's alright. Get him, Bruce. That's not the toes, you dickhead, that's the blanket.
Don't touch the penis.